Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Countdown to the Daytona 500. We are here at Media Day at the Daytona International Speedway. Folks, we are sitting literally right on the red carpet as we talk to drivers as they gear up for the 64th running of the Daytona 500. Kevin Connolly alongside Danny Harnden. We're going to be with you for the next hour or so talking about the Great American Race. And Danny, this could be maybe the most anticipated Daytona 500 of all time, considering we've got this brand new, completely redesigned race car.
Yeah, there's so much talk in the offseason about the next-gen car and also the next-gen fan. I mean, we're trying to get new fans into the sport like we saw in L.A. at the L.A. Coliseum with the Clash. So it's going to be an exciting year. And this race, I mean, usually you go into this race, you're like, okay, those 15 maybe can win it. I think it's 20, 25. Yeah. Considering what we saw last year, kind of a surprise winner with Michael McDowell.
Yeah, it is really exciting. And as you can see behind us, all of the drivers coming through different media stations, talking to television stations all around the country, again, because that's how big the Daytona 500 is. And we are certainly excited to be here with you this afternoon to talk a little bit about the Daytona 500. Joining us now is Chris Buescher, who is the driver of the number 17 car for RFK Racing. Brad Keselowski has gotten involved. First question right out of the box. How has Brad sort of changed the organization? What does he bring? What has he brought to the organization so far?
It's probably hard to just stay on one thing. Brad's a very sharp individual who has a really good sense on the competition side, on the work environment side, on trying to really bring in that confidence in everybody as we try and work on again becoming a race winning and a championship winning or contending team. So there's been a lot going on. There's been a lot of paint getting thrown up on walls and a lot of stuff really smoothed up and shined. Really working on cleaning up a lot of the I think what Brad will probably talk about most is detail work and processes and how to consistently duplicate what we're doing around the shop so that we can measure it, we can make it better, and we can basically improve ourselves each week and be able to go back and figure out what it was that made that difference. So there's been a whole lot of that, really trying to clean up how we're building these new race cars. The next gen is a wild change. I don't know I don't know how much different it really is on the floor. I know walking through the shop, it does not even come close to resembling the old car or the way it got bolted together in the past. So there's a lot of new to us. There's a lot of new to the sport. There's a lot of excitement around it. The Clash was a very wild event. I think it was a huge success. Didn't go as well for RFK as we had hoped, but that aside, we did learn a lot, and we have some really good ideas on what to do to be better next time around. But a lot of good momentum. It's been really neat to get to know Brad a little bit more on the personal level. We've been Ford manufacturer teammates, so to speak, at these speedway races for many years, and we have worked together really well before knowing he would be a boss and a teammate of sorts. So it's been fun to get to know him more and really see him put his hand on the organization and start really trying to help us find our way again.
We don't see this in other sports, but Brad may be your boss, but you want to go out there and beat him, right? I mean, same with like Bubba. Hey, Danny, I want to beat you.
Exactly. So that question's come up several times already is, final lap, you're behind Brad. Are you going to wreck him for the win? I'm like, no, I'm not going to wreck him, but I'm going to hit him. I mean, I'm going to race him, and aggressively at that. We're gonna do everything we can, but if it's not your teammate, you don't want to wreck anybody for a way. You don't want to be like that, but when it's your boss and teammate, you got to be a little bit more careful. So yeah, it'll be fun, and we've been working together through practice, really trying to get a feel for this car and where our cars are at as an organization, and it's been neat to really go out there with a teammate who's working hard to discover the same things, and he's really good at these super speedways. And so we're getting a lot of knowledge out of him as well.
All right, so you guys have had a little bit of track time. There were some practices yesterday. How did you feel those practices went, and maybe what's the biggest area you guys need to work on before tomorrow night in the dual qualifying races and, of course, for the Daytona 500 on Sunday?
Yeah, I would say I've been down here testing 3 times with this car, with the next-gen car. One was before it was even a manufacturer car. It was the P3 car, whatever they called it back then. So much has changed from my first time down here, and I really want to say I'm proud of the efforts and the improvements we've made since the very last test we were here with our organization's car. We are much better this go around. We've focused on certain areas that we wanted to be better, and it is. Our practices yesterday, we were top of the charts right there in top 5 consistently both practices. Throughout the practices, we had really good speed. We were able to work well together with ourselves, with the front row cars. I think that we've made some really good headway. We're always going to be working to find more, and really, as far as what we need to work on, I think it's unknown right now. It's what is this car going to do when you line up 20 cars on the bottom line and the top lane? What is it going to do side drafting? There's been a minimal amount of aggression in practice like you would expect. I think the duels are going to ramp that up a little bit, but then once you get to the 500, you're going to learn so much in the middle of that race as we get out there and discover what this car does and how it behaves in different scenarios. I think that's really when you're going to start putting stuff in the memory bank to be ready for the end of that race.
Well, Chris, we really appreciate the time this afternoon. We wish you all the luck in the dual qualifying races and, of course, in the Daytona 500. And don't forget about us when you're celebrating in Victory Lane if you pull off and win that trophy, that big trophy back
Come
there.
on in. Well, if we get a Victory Lane, everybody come party. We'll be good.
All right,
so
good
I appreciate it. Thank y'all.
Very good. Chris Buescher, driver of the number 17 car for RFK Racing. That is Roush Fenway Keselowski Racing, as Brad Keselowski has now gone into the owner-driver category.
Yeah.
And again, that's one of the top storylines through not only Daytona, but of course through the season.
Yeah. It's so interesting. I mean, Chris just mentioned it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, these guys, these drivers. How is it going to go? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
true.
We'll find out on Sunday.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we've talked already to Chris Buescher. He was our first guest, and he was with RFK Racing, and now we have the K from RFK Racing joining us now. Brad Keselowski. We certainly appreciate the time today. First of all, I want to say congratulations. Congratulations on stepping out of the box and grabbing a dream of yours to become a NASCAR team owner. That's a heck of a step.
Well, thank you. You're talking about being the K in RFK Racing. We talked about being FKR, but we thought people on social media might have too much fun with that. But no, seriously, it's a great opportunity and a great time in my life. I'm really excited.
Did you have? I mean, you made a big decision. Were there some times where you laid in bed and you're like, oh, man, this is a huge deal, what I'm doing, and there was some uncertainty?
Yeah, well, it's been a dream of mine for a long time to be a team owner, to do all those things. I didn't know when that opportunity would come or where it would come, but it's here, and it's super exciting. It's also super scary, right? A lot of people that are counting on you, not just my family, my wife and kids, but now like 200 other people's families, their wife, kids, and so forth. So that's a big challenge, but one that I'm excited about and I'm having fun with.
All right, when you stepped into that first meeting as the owner, what surprised you the most?
Ooh, I don't know if there was one thing that surprised me the most. Pretty much had a good feel for what I was getting into, and I'd done ownership before at the Truck Series level, so I had a basic understanding of what that was going to be like and some of the personalities, and I can't really say there's been a lot that surprised me.
That's good.
We don't see this in other sports, but your owner and Chris is driving for you, but last lap of Daytona 500, you're not really owner-employee anymore.
Yeah. Well, no, we still are.
Well, it can be really expensive,
especially with
right?
these new cars.
Yeah, I can promise you they will still send us the bill.
Yeah.
Chris is in a great spot in his life, and I'll tell you, Chris has done a great job, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this year. I think he's going to win some races, and we're going to give him the equipment to do that.
Mm-hmm. Building this new car, being involved in literally from the very first step, the ground level, NASCAR wanted to – they had certain goals that they wanted to reach with this new car, but driver input was very important – in this whole process. And so many of the other guys that we've had an opportunity to talk to, they feel like their voice was finally heard Is that a similar experience that you've had?
Yeah, I think we had some big moments with this new car. It was being developed where there were some things that weren't right on it, and NASCAR seemed to be willing to step aside and allow some input from the drivers to come into play, and I think there's a lot of energy around that, a lot of excitement around that from the drivers that you're probably feeling and describing, and I think the car ultimately will be very successful accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
On Sunday, I heard you earlier talking about percentages of a wreck. What are the percentages of each of you guys wrecking? Like it's
about 75 to 80%.
That's a big number, Brad.
It's a huge number, right? Yeah, I don't gamble, but if I was a guy in Vegas right now, I would be putting out odds on not to wreck. You know what I mean? For Daytona 500, like they have what do they call those things that you can bet on?
Prop bets.
Prop bets. There should be prop bets for the Daytona 500 in Vegas on not to wreck, because that's how certain it is that you are probably going to wreck. And so, hopefully, I can.
But you can't think that way.
Well,
when you're driving,
when you're in the car, you can't think that way.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But you have to think that way out of the car, and with how you prepare yourself physically, mentally, and with the resources we have to work with.
We've got one sort of oddball question for you. Okay, if you could pick one celebrity to ride shotgun with you in the Daytona 500 or any race for that matter, who would it be?
Oh, a celebrity. Well, I'd want a person to be small so they don't weigh the car down. And you want it to be someone that you could, shoot the breeze with afterwards. So that would be kind of fun, and bench race with. And ideally, you'd want somebody who's kind of into cars, right?
Yeah.
So they would, respect and appreciate it. I'd probably pick like an Elon Musk.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Very good. That's right.
A lot of you guys have made the great transition into the TV booth. You and Bush and Jamie McMurray does a great job. In other sports, you really don't see that. Yes, some of the football players have done it, but
yeah, they're doing great.
You guys are just so natural at it. And I know you're just talking what you do, racing, but you're just so good at it right away.
Well, thank you. I mean, don't worry, I'm not coming for your job.
Yeah.
I like my job, but it's a natural way for us to engage, our fans and the spectators, and I think we have fun with it too. I think all of us race car drivers like to kind of try some new things and break it up a little bit, and I like watching a race in the TV booth because I can see all kinds of things I couldn't see before. They got all these cameras. Like, oh, you got that camera? Look at that. And we have fun with it.
Well, very good. Brad Keselowski, we certainly really do appreciate the time this afternoon. Best of luck this season. Best of luck in the Daytona 500, and it'd be awesome to celebrate in Victory Lane right here, right behind us.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would be a heck of a party. Bring the beer.
All right.
All right, very good.
See you, Brad.
Good to see you, John.
Appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, truly one of the most engaging NASCAR drivers that we have an opportunity to talk to. Always open, always honest, and I think he's going to be outstanding as an owner.
Yeah, that's what I love about talking with these drivers. They are really honest and open. And today, I mean, it could be a really dragged on long day for these guys, but they're really good sports. I mean, they really are, because they have to answer to the same question over and over. Is that right? Over and over and over.
Well, I answered some of y'all's questions on Monday night.
That's right.
Yes, you did.
That's right. That's right. Corey LaJoie, driver of the number 7 car, is here for Spire Motorsports. And now that you're here, now that you've had an opportunity to be in the car, get a little practice time, what are you feeling? How do you feel?
Man, I feel like with these new cars, you can get way more off base than what we could with the previous car. So we went down a particular direction when we got here, and the car did not drive good by itself. I mean, I've never had a car that I felt like I'd be Cale Yarborough spinning that thing over, spinning it around and flipping over in a single car. So I think that, really had to lean in, make the car a little bit more compliant over the bumps, and a little bit less leaned heavily towards single car speed. I think you got to give some drivability to them. We broke a steering rack, so there was a laundry list of stuff that we had to figure out throughout the course of the day. But I think we made some gains, and hopefully we have some decent single car speed tonight.
What's the game plan in the duels tomorrow night? I heard one driver said simply, "Go fast, don't wreck."
Man, you don't even need to go fast. I mean, if you're in a chartered car, man, you can just really and truly just get the thing home in one piece. I mean, get a balanced feel, understand what your car is going to do over the course of the long run, get a hot pit lane entry, maybe get a pit stop in so your crew kind of get the jitters out. But I think just kind of do a dry – it's almost a dry run-through essentially because we're not going to go try to compete for a win. You got to keep in perspective too. Like most of the people's backup cars are in Charlotte. Like you can't just roll one out of the back of our truck and go build another one. So we would be – knock on wood, we'd be in bad shape if you've been a primary crop in the duel. So we're going to be pretty conservative there. And we're going to be pretty conservative all day on Sunday, too. We got to get to the white flag because that's essentially the last flag of the day. The next one ends it. And we've been pretty close the last couple of years. Maybe we can be a little bit better this year.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. You have been close here in Daytona at the 500 in the fall race now. Here at Daytona. Why do you feel like you're so good here at Daytona?
I wouldn't definitely say I'm so good, but I've found myself towards the front when the pay window opens up because I can assure you it pays a lot better to finish good in the last lap than it does running good the whole day before. But, I think a little bit of that's just being conservatively aggressive, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. We're not engaging. We're not really racing for stage points. We're not trying to – there's a different strategy between trying to win the race because those guys that are going to be in contention to win have to maintain that track position all day. You have to be fighting for it. You have to be always in those first 2 or 3 rows. By the time comes at the end, you find yourself in the front and you get the right push at the right time. If you go in with the hope or the goal to finish top 10, which here pays more, you finish 10th here, it pays more than a win anywhere else. So for a small team like ours, that sets us up financially to the West Coast swing on a pretty good foot. So we go in trying to learn as much as we can, but we're going to be conservative. And, we have a particular lap number that we're going to engage at the end to hopefully give us a fighting chance to, maybe sneak one out. But who knows? Our goal coming in, as much as we love to win, we need to leave the 500 with a somewhat straight race car and a pretty good finish to put a decently sized check in the bank for our small team.
Well, you do have the last 2 Daytona 500s you have finished in the top 10 in both of those races. So you got to feel pretty confident heading into this Sunday.
This one's circled in red, man. It's the one everybody wants to win, right over your shoulder, man. That big old black trophy with the car on top, Harley Gerald trophy, means a lot to a lot of guys, and it would mean a lot to myself and my family, my team, to be able to grab it. So we're going to be hopefully in contention to I don't know, maybe sneak one out and steal one here on Sunday night.
Yeah, here's an oddball question for you, okay? If you could get a meal delivered during a caution mid-race, what would that meal be?
Man, I had my celebrity answer from Brad Keselowski already keyed up because I heard him, and you gave me a little sneak peek.
Do them both. Give me a celebrity too.
Yeah, so of course that'd be such a Brad thing. Like, he wants to maintain the right side weight to a certain level.
Yeah.
So that was a great point. I didn't think about that. You also want somebody that be kind of entertaining to talk to, keep your mind focused, but also like loose enough to where you don't get too spun out. I like Kevin Hart there. Kevin's a short guy, lightweight.
Oh yeah,
and that would make for some good content. So that would be fun. Kevin Hart obviously is a hilarious guy. Now a meal delivered. Man, Chipotle. I could eat Chipotle 7 days a week.
They're across the street, right?
Yeah. So, man, if there's a stage break or something, we get a long red flag at the end of that thing, maybe I can DoorDash. I'll help Bubba out a little bit. Maybe I can DoorDash something to me in the backstretch. So we'll see.
That's right.
So you are living your dream right now. You're a race car driver. Did you have a backup plan, or what would you be doing?
Well, yes. I mean, I had a plan. Being a race car driver was the backup plan because when I signed with Richard Petty Motorsports when I was 18, it was all laid out in front of me. Had this 5-year track to the Cup Series. I thought I had it all figured out, and then put myself around in some bad cars and just sent over the next 6-8 months. All the driving opportunities dried up. I was flying to Bakersfield, California, every other week to crew chief a K&N West car. And I was going down the path of being a crew chief just to pay the bills. Was doing that for over a year. And I rubbed shoulders with a guy who owned a collagen company in Phoenix. Darren Rude and Patty are the two people who own this particular company called U Theory. They wanted to help me they followed me on social media. They liked how I carried myself. They thought my brand fit theirs. And they gave me a little bit of money to get me back behind the wheel of an Xfinity car. That kind of started the snowball effect, parlayed that into a Cup ride at BK Racing, and then one thing led to another, and this is I'm lining up for my 6th Daytona 500.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
This was the backup plan. Like, this was a pipe dream, rather. Like everybody says, when they ask, what are you doing? I say I'm living the dream. Like, they laugh because that's just such a cliche thing. No, like, this is the dream. Well, even when I was 23, it was a dream. That wasn't even an actuality. And then, here I am, 30 years old, about to qualify or race in my 6th Daytona 500. Yeah, it's the damn dream. And here we are, sitting inside Daytona 500.
What's the feeling? What's the emotion when you are on the starting grid for the Daytona 500? They've played the national anthem. The flyover has happened. What's happening with you?
I'll tell you the moment that is like pinch me. This is not real life. Is before that. It's when the big driver intro stage is set up and they've got the Harley Gerald Trophy and one guy gets called out. They call out rows similar to Indy 500, right? Starting in row 10, X guy and Corey LaJoie. And when you walk out and the smoke kind of clears and there's just a sea of people, I think there's probably going to be over 150,000 people here on Sunday. Like, that's the moment where you're like, oh, like, this is a big deal. Yeah, so that happens maybe one other time throughout the year, which is the Bristol night race when all the fans are pumped up and circled around the stadium. But the Daytona 500 is one you have to pinch yourself and remind yourself, like, oh, like, I have a damn cool job. So, yeah, before the national anthem, before the flyover, all that, I'll have to be like, okay, like, the butterflies are there, address them, now let's get to work.
All right. Well, Corey, we really appreciate the time today. Best of luck in the dual qualifying races. Keep that thing in one piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on Sunday.
Appreciate that, guys. Have a great day.
All right, awesome. Corey LaJoie, driver of the number 7 car for Spire Motorsports. And again, he mentioned it being a small team. And, Danny, they've talked about this new car being the great equalizer. Yes, the big teams, they have all the resources, a lot of resources. But the smaller teams, they all have the same parts and pieces. They're putting together the same exact car. So a lot of these guys feel like, hey, this is my best opportunity to win.
Yeah, and I heard somebody earlier talking about what a great year to be a rookie because kind of everybody's a rookie, going into this race.
Yeah, no, it is certainly really exciting. We had an opportunity earlier today to hear a lot of different drivers, and they talked about what it's like to be in the Daytona 500. So we have some sound from earlier today with some of the other drivers that came through the red carpet, and here's what they had to say. Again, a lot of interesting stuff.
If you're tuning in tomorrow night to watch a bunch of wrecks, hopefully that's not the case. I know for us, we would love to make it to Sunday and have this car to run. The odds of you getting in a crash on Sunday are high, obviously, with the way this event has gone. But yeah, we everybody knows the situation you're in, and we want to try to be smart about that.
I don't even want to think about it. I don't think about not crashing cars. It's just not. It's not in my DNA. It's not productive to go out there and try to win if you're scared of wrecking. Right? You won't win if that's your mentality. So you have to be willing to take risks. And if we crash, we crash. We'll get another car.
Listen, I think fans in general need to temper their expectations of the new car early. I think that it certainly has the potential to be the best race car that we've ever had. But like anything that gets developed and it's new, you'll have different versions of it. That's why when you get an iPhone, they come out with a new iOS every other week because they constantly improve it and make it better. They get the bugs out. This car will be no different. It will be. We will have an update to it probably every week or every other week for a long time.
The new car has actually been more stable and more comfortable than we all expected in the draft. None of us have done those big long runs to see what tire wear and tire pressure buildup will do. But overall, it's exceeded expectations. The Coliseum, the car's put on a great show. It's time to get the season going.
Yeah, I mean, you go to these speedways and you just kind of understand that sometimes you don't control your own destiny, and that's just what it is. We've been, 2 years ago, we lost this race by a couple feet. And last year I was in on the wrecker and on the plane home, after lap 15, and it just is what it is sometimes. And you're sometimes an innocent bystander of someone else's mistake, and so I'd love to tell you, if we do this, we'll be at the end of it. I mean, unless you want to go right around and last all day long, you can never really guarantee that you're going to be there at the end of it. So you just have to go race and be smart and control the things that you can control. That's kind of the biggest thing here. And if you get caught up in someone else's mess, then that's just is what it is. But you just try to do your best all day and trying to stay in contention. And sometimes you will be, sometimes you won't. You just hope the stars align right for you, and you're here at the end, and then you have a shot to win it.
So in there, we heard from Denny Hamlin, who's won this race 3 times. He almost had a 4th and a 5th, and earlier we heard him talk about those were painful.
Yeah.
As much as it was great to win 3 times, I really wanted that 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, sometimes the wins that get away last a little bit, linger a little bit longer with a lot of these drivers. Now, we have another member of our team here, JB Biunno. He's the guy pushing the buttons, playing the video. He's kind of the orchestra master back there behind the
too kind.
Yeah,
too kind.
You're doing an awesome job, man. We appreciate the time today, and boy, it's been fun so far to this point. And what we would really like is to get a little bit more involvement for the people at home.
Yeah, we're live in a whole lot of places across, of course, Nexstar Nation, sites, applications across the country, coast to coast, quite literally, as well as on YouTube Live. Paying close attention as well here to Twitter. You can use hashtag Countdown to Daytona. Yeah, the setup here is pretty unique. We have a really cool spot here, Kevin and Danny, as far as being right at the end of the red carpet, so all the drivers come right on down, and then they have to sit down here with us. And yeah, a lot of touch screens here. We're doing a lot, but it's been a lot of fun, and we'll look for hashtag Countdown to Daytona and hashtag, really any hashtag you'd like in relation to Nexstar Nation. We'll be looking out for it as we try to get people involved out there.
That's right, the Daytona 500, the 64th running of the Daytona 500 is on Sunday. And a guy that's going to be in the Daytona 500 joins us now, Ross Chastain. We appreciate the time today.
Yes.
All right, gut feeling. How do you like this new car?
My gut feels like a watermelon. So
There we go, the watermelon. Yeah.
Got to start off strong. Bumpy though, rough. Our car, we are here for speed and qualifying. My guys and girls at Trackhouse want to set the tone early, and we want to be aggressive. So, the car is it feels like a different racetrack for me. I've raced at Daytona every year since the repave in 2000, going into the 2012 season. That was my first race, and it's been smooth. Small bumps are starting to creep into the track every year, but nothing like last night, man. I mean, we made single car runs, and I was in there bouncing around. And I was catching the car by myself. So we're going to definitely work on it for the 500 because I can't drive it like that for 500 miles probably, but we're going to qualify as aggressive as we can.
You like this place. You have a couple of top 10s
We
in
do.
the 500.
Yeah, we do. It's crazy. My first time here with Jay Robinson and Premium Motorsports, we stayed out of all the wrecks. We raced the attrition style where we didn't draft much throughout the whole race. We went a lap down, and we were one of 9 cars with clean fenders at the end, and we finished 9th. Come back with the 42 last year, race for the win, and finished 6th.
All right, lots of changes in the offseason for you and your career. You were at Chip Ganassi Racing. Chip Ganassi Racing has sold to Trackhouse Racing. You go from the 42 car to the 1 car, teammates now with Daniel Suarez. How has the transition been for you?
It's been good. It's really been pretty seamless. It's the same shop. I have the same crew chief, spotter, a lot of the same mechanics, a lot of the same engineers, just a lot of the people that throughout the week away from the track that help make me the best race car driver I can be, right? I want to always be better, and I want to always learn something. That core group, both in Charlotte and outside of the race team and my family back home, it hasn't changed, right? Obviously, my family hasn't changed. I didn't get to pick them. So from there, though, it's the same process, and that's been awesome because I've never had that. Any time in my career in NASCAR, every year I changed. And although this is a team change, as far as the name and the upper management, the true core of what CGR was and the foundation there is what Trackhouse is built on now. And now what kind of house do we want, right? Pun intended, this is our house. What kind of culture do we want? It's going to be different, and in my opinion, going to be the best in the garage. That's going to be a work in progress, and we're working towards that.
We are about 15 feet from victory lane here at Daytona. Can you picture you slamming? I mean, people know about your watermelon farm. Can you picture you slamming your watermelon there? And you can even throw it all over Kevin and throw it all over me if you want. We'll be dressed up, but you have every right to do that.
I can because we've actually done it in the Xfinity Series, which was really cool in 2019 to get that win. I I don't feel any more prepared now, though, than I did then. I feel fully prepared to be backwards in the grass at 200 miles an hour. And I was that night, and we were able to win. And I have been other times, and I've been backwards in the grass at 200 miles an hour wrecking. So, you know, when it comes down to the end of the 500, we will, if it's still there, we will, you know, press the attack, as Al Neese said from my Truck Series days, and we'll go try to win. But we're a long ways from thinking about victory lane right now. We've got qualifying, the duels, more practice, and a new car that we are working through the paces on as an industry and as a sport. But, yeah, all that is in preparation to smash a watermelon 15 feet away.
That's right. Let's talk a little bit more specifically about the new car. What are the things you like about it, and what are the things that maybe you're a little bit nervous about?
Yeah, I do like that it's hard to drive. I appreciate that. I don't like being wide open and racing the air. This thing, the more sideways you get it, the worse it handles, where the old car, to a certain point, the more sideways you got it, it had more grip, so you really had to hang it out there. This car takes a lot, in my opinion, a lot tighter and neat driving. Just a new tire, a new suspension package with independent rear suspension, and the whole car being symmetrical. Now that we've gotten the skew out of the cars after last night, we got them squared back up. They're going to look good. Yeah, I like that it's hard to drive, and I appreciate that I went to L.A. and didn't make the race. Like, it was hard, and only 23 guys were in the race, and I was one of the you know, I guess whatever handful of guys that weren't over 12 or 13 guys. That I don't like. I really don't. You
don't have anything yet.
I mean, it's not because it doesn't touch me. I'd say that not having enough parts to confidently come down here with, like, we need to have backup cars. We don't need to be worried in the Cup Series for the Daytona 500. We don't need to be worried about crashing a car. If we crash a car, pull out another one. That's how this sport has grown the popularity at the super speedways and everywhere, where you can just trash a car. Team owners are prepared for it. Our mechanics, our sponsors are like, yep, pull out another one. And right now, with the next gen car, with this Gen 7 car, we're not ready for that. We pull out a backup, it's not going to be good. That's why you didn't see the big drafting packs in practice. You know, it's not going to be like that. So I don't like that. I wish, but you see that in everything. You order anything online, if it's coming from anywhere but your hometown, it's going to take it a while to get there because you hear it everywhere. It's our industry is not immune to it.
Yeah, throughout our stream this afternoon, we've had some interaction with some fans. JB, going to jump in?
Yeah, Ross, how we doing? We've got a lot of folks, of course, watching on social media right now. We're going to ask you our question, and it's focused on what you would do if you won on Sunday. If you win the Daytona 500, you know how if you win the Super Bowl, you go to Disney World. What's something that only Ross Chastain would say in relation to winning the Daytona 500? What's the most unique thing you would do in the aftermath?
Well, you smash the watermelon first.
Oh, that's just a given. We can't
that's
count
a given.
that.
No, that's a given. That's a given.
Oh, man. Honestly, I mean, I would push for a big media tour. I would want to go.
You
go
hit
to
all
New
the
York.
talk shows.
I want to. McDowell last year, I talked to him. He didn't get to do a lot of that. COVID. We would do it. I don't care. We're going. We're going to go do it. We're going to go experience that. But also, I'm going back home just to see the people that got me there. And, I was there leading up to the race, and obviously everybody's excited, and I got to see a lot of friends and family. But, yeah, going back with the trophy and being a Daytona 500 champion one day, when we do that, will be special.
Yeah, one of our other questions that we like to ask the drivers is a celebrity shotgun rider. Okay, now you have a pretty famous owner in Pitbull, okay? But who would be a celebrity that you would have ride shotgun with you in the Daytona 500 if you could? Could be Pitbull. Could be your boss, right?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, celebrity. Well, Pitbull would be my guy.
Okay.
My hero is my dad, and actually walking over here to Media Day, I see they have ride-alongs going with the Petty Experience, and I want to go figure out if I can get – my dad's here already camping, so I want to go – I'm not going to tell him until – I know I can do it, but I want to go get him in a car, and I want to be the one to give him a ride. He was a racer and taught me everything I know about racing, so he's never been around Daytona except, I think, on a golf cart one night. So security didn't exactly like that.
I'm sure.
They're letting some of the fans go about 150, 155 today. That's flying.
Yeah, we're not going much faster by ourselves. These next-gen cars don't go fast by themselves.
But
they are fast in the pack. Whew.
All right, that's
yeah,
very good.
they're a handful to drive.
Yeah, one of the things we also like to do with drivers, particularly at the beginning of the season, give me one bold prediction for Ross Chastain in 2022.
A bold prediction would be that we don't win a race
You
All
don't
right.
win a race.
because we're going to.
Okay, all right.
I like the confidence.
Little reverse psychology.
Yeah,
right
that's a
there.
good
Awesome.
answer.
All right.
Good answer.
That's awesome. Well, Ross, we really appreciate the time today. Best of luck, in the Daytona
thank you.
500. I know it's really exciting to be involved in a lot of things that are new. The new track house setup, and of course the new next gen car. A lot of things are really exciting, and it'll be fun to see you get to victory lane. And all right, you know what? I got one more question for you. Who brings the watermelon? Who gets the watermelon? You know what I mean? Like, how many do you have on standby?
Right.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
All right.
So Roy, our truck driver on the 1, formerly the 42, I had talked to him before I ever raced the 42 Cup car, and I said, look, we've got to have one. So he grocery shops for the hauler, and he's got one. He's got his own foam carrying case for it, and the Florida races, Southeast races, we bring some from the farm as well.
Wow.
I got you. Very good. Awesome, Ross.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Good
much.
luck to you.
Man.
Thanks,
we
guys.
appreciate
Okay.
it again. Ross Chastain, a lot of these drivers have some unique celebrations when they go to victory lane. Ross, of course, is right on.
Sure miss
right-
Carl Edwards doing that flip.
the backflip. All right, we're joined now by William Byron, driver of the number 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports. William, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We're on Nexstar Nation. We're across coast to coast here talking about the upcoming Daytona 500. All right, what do you like most about the new car, and what do you like least about the new car?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think what I like most so far is the fact that it does everything a little bit better than the old car, when it comes to braking and steering and gripping the tires, so that's nice. I think the thing that I'm still trying to get used to that I don't like so much is probably just the feel, the brake pedal and the throttle, and it's different than what we had kind of customized back last year. So we're trying to get a good feel for those things, trying to get used to the way that you work the pedals in the car.
What's your best guess on what we're going to see at the duels? Are we going to see a lot of, I don't want to wreck this car because of inventory situation. What do you think we'll see?
Your guess is as good as mine. I really don't know till we get out there, and hopefully we're, in some ways I hope we're in the second duel just to not have to be the first guinea pigs, but it'll be nice either way to get out there and see what we have. And I'm sure that our car will be fast, so I'm not worried about that. But at this time, I'm really just trying to focus on qualifying and hope that we can put ourselves on that front row, so we don't have to really work that hard in the duels.
Traditionally, the Hendrick Motorsports cars have been very, very fast here at Daytona. You've had an opportunity to sit on the front row. Being at Hendrick Motorsports with Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, the past two champions that we've had in this sport, when you're sitting in the team meetings and you're looking around, there's a whole lot of talent in that room. Do you feel any maybe pressure to kind of outperform those guys or try to keep up with those guys because they truly have had a tremendous amount of success?
Yeah, definitely. I think you certainly want to do everything that they're doing and match what they're doing or do better. And I think that pressure comes just internally. You're trying to perform the best you can for your team, and do the best you can for the 24 car. So I think that last year we had a lot of positives, but at the same time we had a lot of things that we wanted to work on and get better. So I feel like we've gone to work on those things in the off season, and we'll see how it goes.
We watched the Clash in L.A. on TV. What was it like to be there, the atmosphere, going to a new crowd there in L.A.? What was it like?
It was really fun. It was really kind of a high-pressure environment because everyone wanted to make the race and all those things. And, I felt like for us it went well. We qualified in the top 12 and raced in the top 5 for most of the day and finished 6th. So it was a good day. At the same time, though, it's, a kind of a one-off thing and not really indicative of the entire season. So, we've got to continue to work hard to see where we stack up this week.
What's it like working at Hendrick Motorsports and the great tradition of success that they've had? All the championships. It's the winningest team in terms of of wins and championships in NASCAR. What's it like when you get out of your car, you get on campus over there at Hendrick Motorsports, and you walk through the door?
Well, it's just, really kind of an honor to be in those buildings. I think there's so much craftsmanship and work ethic, involved in making the cars go fast. And, we continue to kind of improve that culture as we go and get back to winning a lot and winning often. So, I think it's been a good couple of years in terms of performance for everyone on the Hendrick team, and just looking forward to more.
Your feelings, you've been in a couple of these Daytona 500s, your feelings that morning when you national anthem, fly over, everything, what's that like?
It's busy, busy for sure. It's definitely one of the busier days of the year. Lots of anticipation, excitement. I think that for us, try to focus on the things that really count. Try not to get too consumed by some of the outside noise and just focus on, internally with what the race is going to be like. So, it all changes as soon as you get in that race car anyway. So I try not to think too much.
All right, 36 races ahead. It's a long season. What was the best thing you had an opportunity to do this off season?
Just enjoyed, spending time at home. Really, we had a lot of testing this off season, so a lot more testing than we're used to, but got a chance to do a family trip with my parents and my sister, and that was cool to see all of them. And then, she's back in New York working and things like that. So we're all kind of in different places now, but it was nice to get some time together and be able to enjoy that.
Off season goes fast in NASCAR. Other sports, usually they have 3-4 months. It's over.
Yeah, for us it's very, very short. So, I feel like the best thing to do is just continue to race. So, I've continued to race this off season. I've raced 4 or 5 times. So, it's going to be fun to continue to do that.
All right, the third member of our team over there behind the master board over there is JB. And JB sometimes doesn't always ask, he doesn't ask racing questions. He asks things that are a little off the wall.
We'll do all three for William. William, hope you're having a good media day so far, man. We'll try to go a little bit off beat now.
These are not race questions.
No, we're gonna switch it up a little bit. How about let's go to. I love this one. This isn't great. A celebrity shotgun. You have to have somebody, a celebrity, ride shotgun with you during the Daytona 500. Who are you picking? Anybody? You have your pick of any celebrity in the world?
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's probably going to be like Michael Jordan or Tom Brady, because I feel like they'll motivate me and get me to the finish line.
Yeah, have the headset on and just giving you those inspirational quotes.
Yeah.
Would MJ fit in a stock car?
I don't know.
6'6".
6'6".
Make it work.
Yeah, I'm sure they could make it work. Actually, ironically, Brad Daugherty, former North Carolina basketball player, played long NBA career with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He had a specially made truck, just like a Craftsman truck, and I was at a test that he did at the Martinsville Speedway along with Andy Petrie one time, and it was. He had a big driver's compartment. He's a
7-footer, right?
6'11", I think.
Yeah.
Again, a great basketball player at the University of North Carolina in the NBA for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Me being a Tampa guy too, also love the Brady name drop. How about all right, extended caution. You can have any meal in the world delivered to you. What's it gonna be?
Well, pizza. I think it's probably pretty filling, and it's probably pretty messy too. So I don't know. It would be good.
Pizza's a good one.
Pizza's a go-to. Yeah.
And then if you pull it out on Sunday, you emerge victorious at the Daytona 500. You can do anything, go anywhere in the world. What's your celebration that you would do? Like going to Disney World after the Super Bowl. What would you do after winning the Daytona 500?
Yeah, that's it. Go to Disney World. I think that would be a lot of fun. I just saw the commercial for the Rams going to Disneyland, so it'd be fun to do that.
All right.
William Byron, everybody.
That's right. One bold prediction that you can make for your team this year. What would it be?
Bold prediction. I think just I think you'll see a first-time winner of the Daytona 500.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
you?
Are the initials?
I like that. I like that a lot. That's a good bold
Are the
prediction.
initials WB?
That's the goal.
That's awesome. William,
Yep.
thank you very much
Thank
for the
you.
time.
Appreciate it,
Very
guys.
good. William
Okay.
Byron, driver of the number 24 car for Hendrick Motorsports.
Yeah,
boy,
some people drive for years and years and never win that trophy. I mean, you know.
There's some really great drivers in the
Yes.
history of NASCAR that have never won the Daytona 500. There's some guys in the field on Sunday who are great drivers who have never won the Daytona 500.
Kyle would love that.
Yeah, Kyle Busch certainly comes to mind when you talk about that particular category of driver. And William Byron's been around NASCAR. He's been in the Cup Series, but you know what? He's a young dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he is still got a lot of career ahead of him, and of course, he's with the best organization in NASCAR. So keep your eyes on William Byron in 2022.
You remember he had that baby face. It's still kind of baby face, but they saw something a number of years ago because Hendrick. I mean, they know their talent, and they said this guy's got it, and he does have it.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting transition that Hendrick Motorsports has gone through probably in the last 5 to 7 years. I mean, they had Jeff Gordon, they had Jimmy Johnson. Now you look at their driver roster, and they have a lot of young guys who are at the start of their career who have been very, very successful.
Means they're set for a while.
Yeah, not searching for drivers.
Guys, I'm going to hop in here because we have some comments coming in from social media. Take a listen to this. I'd like to say hello to our YouTube audience. If you're watching with us on YouTube, say hello. We've got some folks joining us like Brian 00, Brick Bates, Cheryl Davis, T-Bland72. A lot of fun usernames there on YouTube. Join the conversation. Let us know what you'd like to ask. And Brian 00, you guys, asking about these new cameras that Fox Sports is going to have at the track on Sunday. And I was doing a little bit of research about this. Apparently, Fox Sports is going to be enhancing the viewing experience. And I had to do a little bit of homework on this during the stream with the racing drone. I mean, we've seen the drone shot in coverage as well, going around the track. Extra motion technology, and it's really cool to see how every year at the Daytona 500 we see new technology, new cameras. It feels like more than ever before, it feels like if you're not here with the sellout crowd, watching at home on your big screen TV, it's a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, one of the things that NASCAR racing does that is top-notch with the in-car cameras, they literally put you in the seat of the race car going around, and that really has been probably one of the great things that has propelled NASCAR racing in terms of popularity.
Hey, the champ's
as we go
here.
forward. The champ is here.
Champ.
The champ is here. Kyle Larson.
You give him a big belt.
Yeah.
Championship belt.
That's right. Kyle Larson, first of all, congratulations on what a year last year. 9 wins to throw the All-Star race in there. I mean, you spent a whole lot of time in victory lane, and then to win the championship. Can you sum up in a few words just what 2021 was like for you?
Yeah, I mean, at times unbelievable for sure. So it was definitely a great season. In everything I ran, I ran a lot of dirt races too, and won a lot of big races in that: Chili Bowl, Knoxville Nationals, Kings Royal, Prairie Dirt Classic, as well as all the success that we had in NASCAR, and then to cap it off with the championship too. So the best season I've had to date, and hopefully it's not the best season I'll ever have in my career. Hopefully I can do even better someday down the road.
Boy, you set that bar pretty high.
I know,
man. You set it really, really high.
What has life been? Has it changed much since then, since you won that championship in Phoenix?
No, it hasn't. It hasn't really at all. I just did a bunch of media a couple days afterwards, and then when we got to Nashville, a bunch of media. But aside from that, no, it hasn't been too different. I feel like all of us, racers, we just are always looking ahead. So, like as soon as the season is done, I'm looking forward to the next race that I'm going to run. Looking forward to the next season. So, I don't think any of us ever want to be content and look back and live too much in the past of what we accomplished. So I want to continue to do better, and with that, I think you got to move on from your success.
The thing that sort of separates you from a lot of other drivers, you do drive a lot of different series and different cars. The fact that you have done that so often in your career, or so long in your career, is that going to help you with the new car? Because you're used to getting into different things, and this new car is really completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it definitely doesn't hurt. I don't know how much it helps my experience of driving different things, but because, I feel like everybody in the Cup Series is so good. So we all figure it out really quickly. And the races, too, are so long that you're going to figure it out throughout the 3.5 hours that you're behind the wheel. But I think with the limited practice and stuff like that, that's where my ability to adapt quickly to different cars or situations, I think, will help. But like I said, the races are so long, people are going to figure it out.
So there's so much talk about the new car and changes in that. How about the pit crews? They've got a totally new things to do. And last year in Phoenix, your final pit stop, I think it was a 12.34, best of any Hendrick stop all year. Kind of won it for you. How much were you appreciative to your guys to pull that off for you?
Yeah, my pit crew was amazing all season, and then for them to cap it off with the best pit stop of their season, that race, and getting me from 4th to the lead. Without that, I wouldn't have won the race. So that Phoenix race was really cool because I felt like every race is a team effort, but that Phoenix one, I felt like we all had to dig down deep. I had to dig down deep behind the wheel. The crew had to make great changes to the car because we were pretty far off from being competitive enough, I felt like, to outrace them. And then our pit crew stepped up that final stop. So it was a team victory and one that I'm very, very appreciative of.
Yeah, you have accomplished a lot in racing, a lot in NASCAR racing. What would it mean to you to win the Daytona 500?
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Last year winning the championship, winning a couple big races.
More than a couple races.
Well,
more than a couple.
I'm saying like marquee.
Yeah,
I'm saying the marquee events.
You.
All-Star Race, Coke 600. Gosh, I feel like there's one other one that I won that was really big. The Bristol Night Race, I feel like to me is a big one.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, the Daytona 500 is as big as it gets for marquee events in our sport. So yeah, I want to win that. I want to win the Southern 500. I'm sure I want to win every race eventually, but those big ones you want to win the most.
By nature, NASCAR drivers are greedy. I mean, Kyle Busch was saying, "Yeah, I've won 2 championships, but I want that trophy."
Yeah.
You guys are greedy, right? You want more.
That's right. Yeah, and when you get one, you still want more of that same trophy. So, yeah, hopefully it's in my future someday. But I struggle here, so I hope I can figure it out.
One big bold prediction for Kyle Larson in 2022. What would it be?
I don't know. I don't like trying to predict anything because I feel like you just end up jinxing yourself. So, yeah, I don't want to predict anything.
All right, very good. Awesome. Kyle, we appreciate the time. Best of luck to you, not only in the Daytona 500, but, of course, for the entire season.
Yep. Thank
Good
you,
deal.
guys.
Thank you, Kyle.
See ya.
I tell you what, the season that he put together last year, absolutely unbelievable. It was every single track. He was a threat every single week. He was just outstanding.
And you wonder what the other drivers thought. I mean, like, yeah, all drivers are confident, right? But you wonder each week, they're like, I wonder what that Kyle guy, Kyle, not Kyle Busch, but Kyle Larson. It was a dominating season.
Yeah, his, and he did it on all the different size tracks. He was on short tracks. He won on the super speedways. He won on the intermediate tracks. And the intermediate tracks is really where he was absolutely outstanding. And again, the thing that people don't really kind of, I guess one of the hardest things is trying to wrap their arms and hands around. Things are so different now. Yeah. And Kyle was great in the fact that he talked about how he doesn't look at the past. Well, you know what? These drivers really can't look at anything in the past because everything is brand new with this particular race car.
And I wonder if when they were testing a couple months ago where they thought, before they tested, they were like, I ain't going to be that different. It is. It is. It really is.
It is certainly significantly distant.
Look who showed up.
Yeah, Daniel Suarez, driver of the number 99 car for Trackhouse Racing. Daniel, we appreciate it. Good to see you.
How you guys doing?
Doing great. What was the best thing you did this offseason?
Well, we did a lot of testing in the offseason. That was fun. I enjoyed the process of working with this next-gen car. But I really got 2 weeks to disconnect from everything and relax a little bit with family. I flew down to Monterrey, Mexico to see my mom and my sisters, my father, my family and friends. And my mom actually turned 50 years old. And she had a big party, and I would say that was probably the highlight. It was a good time to see her happy and to see her enjoy that day.
Would you give her for her birthday?
What
was the big present?
Yeah, I gave her a couple of presents, but the one that she liked the most, it was I brought her mariachi. Do you guys know what is mariachi?
Okay.
Mariachi band?
Mariachi band. So
Yeah.
so she had this party with her friends and family, and there were probably, I don't know, 50, 70 people in there. And then after dinner, around 10, 11 p.m., it was already pretty late, I show up with the mariachi band. So she loved that. Everyone was dancing there. It was a good
So
time.
the party went from here to here.
Yeah, the party was already good, and then it went over the top.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about Trackhouse Racing. You were there on the ground floor when it started up. Now they've bought out Chip Ganassi Racing, doubled the size of an organization. Just explain, sort of what it's like to be there at the ground level of something and trying to build something that's sustainable success in NASCAR.
It's been a journey, but things have happened actually quite fast. I'm very, very lucky to be part of this amazing organization and to be part of amazing people as Justin Marks, Ty Norris, Pete Bull. It took a leap of faith of myself to believe in Trackhouse Racing in the very beginning, because in the very beginning there was nothing really. It was a plan, and I came that off season from kind of like doing something similar, believing in a new project, and things didn't work out, and at all, and a lot of people called me crazy because I was thinking on this second leap of faith, second opportunity like this. Justin told me to trust him, that he had some good ideas and some good plans for Trackhouse. Ty Norris said the same thing, and fast forward a year and a half later, here we are. I'm so thankful that I made that decision, that I decided to trust Justin and Ty and Trackhouse Racing as a whole, because that's exactly what I wanted. Since the very beginning, I really wanted to build my own team, and I know I can win races. I know I'm very competitive, but it takes a team. It takes a lot of people, not just in the team itself, but in the entire organization, to be able to make that happen. So, I knew it was going to require a lot of work, but here I am, and I'm very, very thankful that I made that decision, because already today I feel like I have probably one of the strongest teams I ever had in the Cup Series.
At Trackhouse, how much do you hear the word patience? Like when we're trying to build something, it's going to take some time, and it's okay.
Yeah. Justin tells me that word quite a bit. I'm not the most patient guy, to be honest. But I have learned to be a little bit. Sometimes the best things take a little bit of patience, and sometimes things start to move around a little bit, and everything starts falling in place. And yeah, I mean, I felt that last year I practiced patience quite a bit, because I was so hungry. I'm still so hungry. I really wanted to win races like now, like yesterday. And patience has been a good exercise for me lately, and to be more calm and to be able to do my job better and easier.
NASCAR Racing is certainly wanting to attract new fans, broaden the fan base. Having you as an international driver from Mexico certainly fits that bill, sort of fits that category. How have you felt like you've been able to connect with fans back home to kind of bring them in to NASCAR?
Yeah, it's something special. I have said this word already a couple of times, but I'm very, very thankful to be in this opportunity, in this position, because it's special to have that connection. Not just with my fans, but with all the Hispanics out there. If we talk about LA not too long ago, last week, 2 weeks ago, just to receive so much support.
There was a lot of people pulling for you in LA.
A lot of people. I feel like I was. I walk into the driving introduction, I was already a winner, doesn't matter what. So, walking in there with the sombrero and feeling that connection with all this, Hispanic community is very special. And I don't have words to describe that. You have to actually live it. And I just feel very, very lucky. I remember when I was trying to come to the U.S. to start this journey, a lot of people told me it was going to be very difficult and it was going to be a struggle, and it was very difficult. It was a struggle, but then slowly I realized that being the only Hispanic or the only Mexican in NASCAR, yeah, maybe it was more difficult in the beginning, but as you start going, it can become a plus, an asset. And I feel like all these people have support me in a way that they're very loyal to me, doesn't matter what. So just, I feel very, very lucky to be in this position with so much support from all the Hispanic community.
Very good. Daniel, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Best of luck in the Daytona 500, and, of course, best of luck in the 2022 season.
Thank you, guys. Have fun.
Thank you, Daniel.
Very good.
All right.
Daniel Suarez, driver of the number 99 car for Trackhouse
that was
Racing.
Enjoyable.
Yeah, he's got something going on. He's got that personality that just draws people in, and he's one of those types of guys that you really hope has success.
Yeah, he looked great in that sombrero last week at the LA Coliseum. Boy, he had a lot of fans there. A lot of fans.
Yeah, and NASCAR has gotten the new next-gen car on the track. They did it at the LA Coliseum, but part of the reason to go to LA was to attract new fans. Of the 50 to 60,000 people that were there, NASCAR has said 60 to 65% of those fans were first-time ticket buyers in NASCAR to see a NASCAR race.
It's a tough balance. It really is. We interviewed a fan yesterday. He's from Brooklyn, New York. Big, not a hotbed, right, for NASCAR. Big NASCAR fan, and he said you're gonna have to make some people mad, to bring in the new audience.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And speaking of new, we're going to bring in one of the new drivers to the Cup Series, Harrison Burton, driver of the number 21 car for the Wood Brothers. Harrison, great to see you. Had an opportunity to talk to you on Zoom the other day. What'd you think of practice? How'd you feel about the car yesterday, getting out there and mixing it up a little bit?
Yeah, I thought we had a good practice. The hardest thing is to learn, you got to be really aggressive, right? And we're like, we don't really want to crash this car. So there's some of that balance going on in practice. And I think the closer we get to 500 a day, the more that intensity will just ramp up and up. So as a driver, it was kind of at times like not frustrating, but it was like, come on, I want to go race, right? And it's
just practice, man.
Yeah, it's just practice. So you got to calm down, right? So there were some of those emotions, but I thought it was productive and we learned quite a bit.
And you guys, the Fords were fast. Fords have demonstrated some speed, so far, down here at Daytona.
Yeah, definitely. It was great to see, our organization with Ford be fast and I think we were 6th on the board once we kind of got in the draft. So it was a good test for us, and to see where we stack up. It's really hard to tell to see who had what run, right? Who had what help, and so sometimes you can get a little caught up in like, the lap times look like this or that. But when you see that many Fords in a row on the top of the leaderboard, it's like, okay, that's definitely something there. So. It was really, really good to see, especially being a part of the Ford camp.
Yeah, so we're here in February. It's a long NASCAR Cup season, ends in November. What do you want to get out of this season? What do you want to have happen?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question for a rookie, right? It's like, what are the goals? And spent a lot of time looking at stats from guys that were rookies in the past and trying to set my expectations based off of that and try to adjust as well as I can. That's the biggest thing, right? Is establish yourself as just a Cup driver, right? So for me, that's what I want to. If I could take one thing out of it, I would want to take out that I belong here and try and prove that throughout the season.
Mm-hmm. Harrison Burton, driver of the number 21 car for the Wood Brothers. You were kind of born into racing. Like, you have a racing family. Your uncle Ward Burton won the Daytona 500. Your dad, Jeff Burton, very successful driver in the Cup Series, now broadcaster with NBC. Was racing sort of predestined for you?
My parents tried. They tried to get me out of it. Like they wanted me to do something that I loved, not just because my dad did it or my uncle or my cousin races too. And they didn't want me to just do it for that reason. They wanted me to find something that I love to do. And eventually, I kind of had to prove it to my dad, and he put me through some of his tests where he put me kind of through the ringer. Right, it was like, hey, if you're still wanting to race after this, you really want it. So
what were some of those
tests? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I want to know.
I mean, it started when I was young and being, going to after school to practice. We would go to the quarter midget track, and he would just leave me in the hot car all day, right, and just like make me run, and I'd be just tired, like sweaty, worn out, and he would basically just say, if you want it, you've got to work for it. So I remember those days of the summer in North Carolina being smoking hot, and him just making a tiny change on my quarter midget and sending me back out for like a 25-lap run, and then he'd bring me in, put new tires on, and go again, right? He's like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to pass out. And I knew it was tough when my grandpa, who's a Vietnam veteran and I view as like one of the toughest guys, was like, you got to give this kid a break. My dad's like, nope. So, that was when I knew he was putting me through the ringer.
All right, very good. Let's talk a little bit more about being here at Daytona. You've come here as a kid, played in the playground. Now you're here as a guy that's going to be in the Daytona 500. You're going to be behind the wheel of a race car. Sort of take us through all the emotions that you'll be feeling on Sunday.
Yeah, I think on Sunday's going to be pretty wild. I don't even think it's sunk in yet. It kind of right now, this is definitely new. In the Xfinity Series, there wasn't a big media day like this before our Daytona race or the Truck Series or anything. And so there's been some new things here and there, obviously the new car and the new team and more eyes on you. But I don't know that it's really sunk in yet, that this is the 500 and I'm going to go run it. I think normally when that time is going to be is when, the national anthem plays, the planes fly over, and it's like, all right, now we got to go, right? And then you're probably going to think, this is pretty awesome. So for me, I try not to get too wrapped up in that moment and try and just stay focused on my job. But on the other hand, you also have to understand that this is something you've worked for your whole life and sit back and enjoy it for a second as well.
The flyover. He's like the third guy that's mentioned the flyover.
Yeah,
yeah. Very good. Harrison Burton, thank you very much. We appreciate the time.
Yeah, thank you all very
right.
much.
Harrison and the famous Wood Brothers number 21 car. As an organization, that team has 99 wins. Wouldn't it be something if he could get that 100th win for the Wood Brothers?
See if he can pull off that Rookie of the Year. A lot of all the three rookies were saying, I'll be keeping an eye on Cindric and Dillon as well to see what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But again, we're here at basically the Speedway Club here at the Daytona International Speedway. We are literally right behind Victory Lane. We are right behind the spot where these drivers want to be on Sunday.
Yeah, and they'll do anything to get there as well. It's interesting, we talked about the inventory with the cars and, maybe a little conservative racing leading up to Sunday, but the final few laps, we've been here for years and years. The final few laps of the Daytona 500 is as good as anything in sports.
It really is.
Yeah.
I enjoy racing. I really enjoy, watching the racing and the different tracks. But there's just something different about the Daytona 500. There's just something different about Daytona.
Yeah.
And
especially when you get to watch a guy named like Kevin Harvick.
Harvick.
He's just,
all right.
Where did he come from, Kevin?
You might need that. All right.
Yeah.
Well, very good.
I didn't know if I was going to interrupt, so I didn't want to pick anything up and make any noise for this professional broadcast here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin Harvick, driver of the number 4 car for Stewart Haas Racing. Always a treat to get an opportunity to spend a little bit of time with you. One of the things that I have appreciated about you and your career over the years is you're not afraid to be honest.
Yeah.
You're not afraid to say exactly what's on your mind.
Nope.
So my question is, what is on your mind about this new race car?
Everything. Everything is different. I think as you look at the new car, it's the seat, the steering wheel, and the dash are the only thing that are the same from everything that I've driven that's evolved over the last 20 years. So I think as you get into the car, everything is different. The way the steering feels is different. The way the car rides is different. The things that you can see out of the mirror is different. The pedals feel different. They're in a different spot. The list is endless. So, it's like starting over again, going back to school, other than the fact that it's a race. I think from my standpoint, all the switches are in a different spot. Everything feels different, and you have to be open-minded to be able to adapt and adjust. And I think that's really going to be the story of the year. And I think, coming into the year, it's really the first year that I've come in with zero expectations because you don't know what to expect. You don't know whether it's going to be good, bad, or are we working uphill, downhill? Is it going to be hard to drive? Are you going to have a ton of tire fall off? What is actually going to happen? So, once we start to hone in on those things of knowing the nuances of the car, get comfortable in the seat as far as, what you do from a driving standpoint and the things that you need to do on super speedways and road courses and short tracks. And we've gone through a lot of different tests and been in the simulator a lot. And there's a lot more thought and time that has gone into leading into this particular season, just because we have to use the tools that we have, and most of that is, I did a couple of tests, but most of that is simulation, and in the end, a lot of that is going to be communication.
Yeah, drivers like their routines. When you got in it for the first time, were you like, really, or did you take it as a challenge? Like, yeah, I'm going to go after this.
The first time I got in it, there was just so many things that were false about the things that were going on the safety side of the car, the way that the car drove, things that you felt it was just going to spin out. And I got in it the first time. I'm like, oh, it's just a race car. Yeah, sure, there are a lot of things different, right? But I think that the best way to explain it is, you've driven your street car for however many years, 5, 6, 10 years, whatever it is.
30. Don't say it.
30.
Okay. 1992 Honda Accord.
30. Well, once that Honda Accord finally blows up,
it never will.
Or once you have to change, you're going to get into a different car. I won't even call it a new car. Yeah. Because a new car from '92, you might just go to an 02.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, you're going to get in it. And the steering's going to feel different. You're going to have to shift it different. It might not have an engine in it. I don't know. But everything about it's going to feel different, and that's really what our race cars were. For me, I've sat in the same seat since 2009. I've sat with the same pedals and the same feel, and knew exactly what I wanted. Now it's all the feel is different, and everything has changed, and you got to basically develop what you want and learn a new feel of this is the parts and pieces that you're given, so this is what it's going to feel like. Now you need to adapt your driving style and the things that you do. But I think that's one thing that Rodney and I have had a little bit of success with is the fact that we've been very open-minded to change and the evolution in this garage you have to be able to keep up with, because it's going to evolve. There's too many smart people. As you go throughout the garage, there's so many things that happen that people don't realize, and it's. They've already made a rule change. We had a rule change after the first practice, so that's the type of quality people that you have in the garage, and they're going to outthink NASCAR. And NASCAR stepped right in and said, okay, we're going to make it so you can't do that. But that's going to happen a lot.
All right, real quick, you know what it's like to win the Daytona 500. You won it in one of the most thrilling finishes of all time, literally beating Mark Martin by inches. What's that feeling like? To win the Daytona 500.
Well, it's not like any other race. I mean, this is the Daytona 500. This is the marquee event of our sport, and there's more to do. There's more prestige. There's more money, and this race has the most preparation of any race that we go to. So you spend the most time thinking about it over the off season. The guys spend the most time working on this car than they do any other car, just because you have the most time to work on it. So it's just there's nothing to compare it to. It's our biggest race, and winning that race is like no other. And when you look at the trophy, you understand why. And you see the names on it, and that iconic Harley J. Earl trophy is like no other.
Very good. Kevin Harvick, man, we appreciate the
you
time.
Guys.
Appreciate it, Kevin.
Yeah,
all
thank
right,
you.
Be good.
Good luck in that 92 Accord.
That's very good. I didn't tell him I drove my Yukon. I drove my Yukon. I drove my Yukon for 290,000 miles, so I'm right there with you.
I just got a new starter on it yesterday, so I'm good.
Well, very good. Now we're joined by Ty Dillon. Great to see you, Ty. It's been a while.
It has.
All right, but we certainly appreciate the time this afternoon. You're on board with us, Nexstar Nation, coast to coast, throughout the country, and of course back home in the Piedmont Triad, where you're from.
Yes, sir.
Brand new opportunity for
Absolutely.
you, Petty GMS Racing. Just put into words, what you're feeling when you scribbled that name on the contract to get back to the Cup Series.
I think extreme gratitude. First of all, the past year was very broken up and uncertain, and I don't want to call it like a dark time, because it wasn't personally or emotionally a dark time, but it was a difficult time in my life. I had always been racing my whole career, knew what the next year was going to bring, what the next team was going to be. And to go into a season, I had the first 4 or 5 races kind of figured out, but then after that, I had no clue. And to say I needed that was kind of a strange thing, but I really do. And it changed me in a way to realize how much I really love this sport for what I get to do, and that's putting in the work to grow and to work with people that I like, to walk in that garage and try to get better every single day, to wake up at my house and work out or study. That's what I missed. I didn't miss all the stuff that can be frustrating that, and maybe in my career previously, I would focus on the harder stuff that I didn't like as much and not so much the part that I loved, and that's just the genuine craft of racing. So it was just a great time for me to kind of reflect on what I really love about what I do. And so I come back full of gratitude with an attitude of, you know what, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to prepare more than anybody, I'm going to work out harder so that if this second chance ends, I'll feel like I left nothing on the table. And I wanted to set a standard for myself in that at the LA Coliseum with the first race of, I felt satisfied that even though we didn't get in the race, that I did everything I could. We won the race, we got black flagged, but you know what, I was sitting there in the stands with some of my friends, and I felt good about it. You know, I felt like me inside the race car. I've always been maybe more on the aggressive nature inside the car throughout my whole career. I've been in my share of scuffles and bump ups because I've always known if I've had a good car, I need to get it to the front. And I had a good car in LA, so that was the first time in a long time, and I'm looking forward to more races with Petty GMS. And I think we're going to have a great team.
You know your NASCAR history. You're in the 42 under the Petty
Incredible.
umbrella. Wow.
Yeah. I think the 42 has been driven by so many people in the past. We lose the real history of this car. So our 42 is the original stylized Lee Petty 42, the originator of the Petty name, what people maybe don't realize. So it's quite the honor for me to carry that number back on the track, and I hope to bring back the history of who Lee Petty was to the Petty name. And then you got the king walking around in your shop with Dale Inman and teaching you and picking on you. They still got it. You know, they still know what it takes to win these races. These cars look different. Our sports looks different than what it used to be. But to win the race, it takes the same ingredients, and those guys have it. And we mix that with Maury Gallagher, who's been so successful with GMS and the Truck Series, and he's a successful businessman. We have a really good combination going.
Yeah, boy, you could just hear the excitement in your voice. Yeah. You know, it's certainly fun to hear that. Got out on the track. You did the Clash, of course. Got out on the track in practice. What's your feeling? What are you feeling in the new car? Do you like it?
Yeah. So the 3 tests during the off season were big for me. I think the first time I got in the car, it was kind of like drinking through a fire hydrant, trying to just take it all in. And by the end of the final test and then going to racing in LA, I feel very comfortable in this car, maybe even more so compared to the competition in the previous car. There's something about it I like. I like the challenge of the newness and being able to kind of work to figure it out, where the old car had so many laps by so many people, had so much more, the experience level was all over the place. Now we're all at 0. So to coming in here at Daytona, I think the Daytona racing is going to be probably the most similar that we've seen over the past years. We'll go to some other tracks that might look a little bit different, but you want to get off on the right foot in Daytona. You don't want to leave here in the hole. And, I know our 42 Black Rifle Chevy will be fast, hopefully tonight for qualifying, but for me, I got to finish this race. We got to get out of here with a really clean start. If you look at the history of this race, probably the last 3 or 4 years, there's only been about 10 to 15 cars rolling at the end of this thing, or at least on all 4 tires.
Yeah.
And so I want to be one of those cars, and I know I'll have one of the fast cars in that group. So that definitely narrows the margin down. It's almost like Brooks Koepka talking about majors being easy. If you can play this right, you can put yourself in a strong position. And it sounds crazy, but I definitely believe that this is a race that probably one of the only races I drive by intuition and feeling, and you feel the energy of the pack. And if I know if it's 4 or 5 laps to go and there's 20 cars rolling, that's not how many are going to finish this race. So that's how I have to position myself with the mental chess match to put myself in a good spot.
You mentioned last year changed you, but how much also has, whether you do great on Sunday or not so good on Sunday, you're going to have a couple of little kids run, "Daddy's home, I love you, Daddy." How much has that changed you?
It's the most special thing ever. My wife is my biggest supporter, my biggest fan, and my best friend. And to have her, first of all, then our 2 kids. Oakley is now 4, and Captain is 15 months. He's walking, and he's my little man, and my little girl just wants to climb in my lap. It doesn't matter. I got a message after the LA Coliseum from my mom. She was watching our kids, and it was a video of my daughter saying, "Dad, you're my favorite racer ever." And I was like, okay, this whole thing didn't even matter. That's all I needed to hear. So, yeah, they're the best part of my life. This is just fun. But to be their father and be the husband of my wife is the best thing I've got going.
Yeah, we've asked guys some non-racing related questions, not family questions either. Some oddball stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You could pick a celebrity.
Yep.
Anyone in the world could ride shotgun with you in a race car. Who would that celebrity be?
Man, because this could be somebody that I want to scare or that I want to just spend time with, right?
Yeah.
Man, this is a tough one for me.
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey.
I like
Could
Christian.
you scare
honestly.
him? Could you scare him?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I can scare anybody. So I think I can do things. We used to do ride-alongs, and I would be the one that would spin everybody out just to let them see how that was. So, man, celebrity. I'm you know what? Here's one. So my wife was a fan of Shia LaBeouf. She's always liked all his movies. So I would take him so I could show her that I'm tougher than him.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my angle.
Yeah, very good. Well, Ty, we certainly appreciate the time this afternoon.
Yep.
Man, best
Thank
of
you,
luck
guys.
this season. It'll be real exciting to see you in victory lane with that 42 with the King.
Yeah.
You going to put a cowboy hat on if you win? Do you
If
have
the King will let me have one or wear his, I certainly will. But, I did the cowboy hat, and I'll have to say this over Austin. I did it first.
Really?
Then my brother took it. Now the King has had it first.
Yeah.
I'm talking about between the Dillon brothers.
Okay.
So you go back and look in history. It was
Okay.
actually, I think, Texas is when I started doing it. I did it for my rookie year in the Truck Series. Then he picked it up and ran with it and kind of made it his thing.
Okay.
So,
Gotcha.
it's I'd put one back on, but only if it's the Kings. Maybe
Yeah,
I would
that's
win.
right.
Yeah.
Be special to get Richard Petty back in victory lane. No
That
doubt
would be
about
so
it.
special.
All right, awesome.
Yep.
Ty Dillon, thank you very much.
Thank
We
you, guys. Appreciate it.
Again, you know what? I absolutely love the fact that he does appreciate the history of the sport. I mean, Lee Petty was the patriarch of the Petty dynasty and Petty enterprises, and to appreciate that as a young man, that is pretty awesome.
I appreciate the skills of this guy.
That's
Martin
right.
Truex Jr.
That's right. Martin Truex Jr. joining us. Hey, Martin, how
guys.
are you?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you?
We're doing great. Best thing you did this offseason?
Tested again. Tested.
You know what?
Well,
I have heard somebody say nothing. I did nothing, and it was great.
We did a lot of testing, but I went on a fishing trip to Brazil with Johnny Morris, which was kind of a bucket list trip for me. So that was a lot of fun out in the Amazon.
All right, Johnny Morris, of course, the owner, founder of Bass Pro Shops, a legend in his own right. Did you catch anything?
Yeah, we caught a lot. We went peacock bass fishing, so we had a good time, caught a lot, and it's just neat being way out in the middle of nowhere like that. I mean, literally, 2 hours in a float plane from civilization. It was really, really neat.
You got away.
Yeah, did you get worried? Did you get scared at all?
No,
It's
fine. It's fine. I just, I was a little worried about seeing one of those giant snakes or whatever. Luckily, never seen them. And then they're like, no, don't worry about those big ones. It's the little green one you have to worry about. If they bite you, you're dead. Like
wow.
5 minutes. So I'm like, okay. I didn't see any of those, so it was great.
Very good. Obviously, you have certainly found a home in the 19 car at Joe Gibbs Racing. One of the top teams in the sport. What's it like to kind of walk through that door, going to work, knowing that you're with the best of the best?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's been a couple of years there now. Now it's been really fun. We've been successful. Second in the championship twice in 3 years. A little bit frustrated about that, obviously, the way it played out, but just couldn't be more thankful to have such a great opportunity. And we have a great team, a lot of great smart people, and we're gonna get tested this year with this new car, and trying to figure it out quickly. So luckily we have a lot of smart people around us, and hopefully we can figure some things out.
A lot of talented drivers in those meetings that you get to feed off each other.
Yeah, that's been one of the funnest parts of it, is just the camaraderie there. And, of course, we all want to be that guy, right? Like, we all want to be the one on top. We all want to be the guy winning the most races, and we all want to be the guy winning the championship. But really just good discussion and good camaraderie around the shop in those meetings and things. And it's amazing just how much good information comes out of all of us, and the team gets to use to our advantage. So we all help each other a ton. It's truly a team effort until the race starts on Sunday.
All right, the coach, Joe Gibbs, I mean, a Hall of Famer in 2 sports, Pro Football Hall of Fame, NASCAR Hall of Fame. I mean, just that calm, steady influence. Yeah. What's it like being around him?
He's the man, I'll tell you that. He's, everybody always asks me about that, and my number one answer every time is he leads by example. That guy He's there every single day. He's the first one at the shop. If he's not meeting with a sponsor, he's at the shop. What's everybody doing? What are you guys all working on? You know, pushing everybody to work that hard. And that's just who he is. That's what he does. That's his life. He might go golfing once every 3-4 months. Other than that, he's working. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm like, Coach, you've been doing this a long time. You know, why don't you go enjoy yourself a little bit? Now we got to get better. You know, so really, really impressive. And that's why Joe Gibbs Racing is what it is.
Yeah, we're about 15 feet away from victory lane. How much do you want Joe Gibbs to be in there? If it's not you, somebody else on your team.
Well, I really hope it's me. I've been here once, 2005. That's a long time ago. I won a race here. So been a long time, been trying hard, been close. We just need a little bit of luck to get to the end. We've had trouble finishing this race. It seems like every time that big wreck happens, we're like right in the middle of it. So need to get to the end, and hopefully we'll have a great Daytona 500 this year.
You know, obviously NASCAR made a tremendous commitment to this new car. A lot of changes. What's the thing that you maybe like the most about it, and maybe the thing that, I'm not so thrilled about that?
There's a few things I like about it. I like the new shifting, sequential. That's pretty cool. Honestly, we had lots of troubles with the steering throughout the testing building process of this car, but once we've got that ironed out, I really like the steering. I've been always a guy that likes really fast steering. So for all the teams I've been at, I've always usually had like the lightest and fastest steering of all our guys, and that's kind of how this car is built. So it kind of fits what I like to feel. So the steering is probably my number one thing that I like that most people hate. So hopefully that's a good thing for me.
That's an advantage for you.
I hope.
You've been answering questions, I don't know, for about 3 hours now, 4 hours. Are you more tired right now than you are after a race?
This is way more tiring.
And you do it with a
racing.
smile, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to see everyone. You know, it's like the first day back at school. You see all your friends and everything, and your teachers and all that. So, and then after that, it's like, okay, we're back at school. This sucks. You know what I mean? So yeah, the first day is always fun to see everyone.
All right, last question for you. You could pick any celebrity to ride shotgun with you. Who would it be?
Vince Vaughn.
Oh,
I'd love to hear his commentary.
Hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Awesome. Martin Truex, driver of the number 19 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. We appreciate the time today.
No problem.
Good luck to you.
Thanks for having me.
Man, what a good dude, man. Always willing to answer questions. And that's something here in the media that we certainly do appreciate.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, it was all. Are we done?
We are. 15 drivers, you guys.
We're done talking about my 1992 Honda Accord.
Yeah, that's
what
right.
We're done
that's
with.
right.
Yeah.
So, again, the Daytona 500, the 64th running of the Daytona 500, it will be on most of or all of your Fox stations across the Nexstar Nation on Sunday. If you're in the East Coast, coverage begins at 12 noon. Followed by the Fox. Fox picks up the coverage at 1 o'clock. But we have a countdown to Daytona special across many of the Nexstar stations starting at noon Eastern time on Sunday.
And everybody wants that trophy right there. That's a big old trophy, isn't it?
It is a big old trophy.
And the one comment that keeps coming through on social media by a lot of different users on YouTube, they want to know what the weather is going to be like. So we need to put on our meteorologist caps, and I think it looks pretty good for Daytona, for the Daytona 500.
Yeah, I saw one particular forecast. There was a little bit of rain on Friday, but Sunday looks good.
Yeah, like 72 and sunny.
Yeah.
We love talking to people back home. We're from North Carolina, but they're struggling in the 40s and they're cold. We'd like to rub it in on our live shots.
Yeah. So certainly it's been a fun afternoon. We certainly appreciate everybody's time today, and again, a lot of excitement surrounding the 64th running of the Daytona 500. Danny, this is a brand new era of NASCAR racing as we go into this new next-gen car. You know, and the storylines that surround this new car, starting with the Daytona 500, boy, they're going to be fun to cover.
Yeah. We were up above the garage last night for practice. You're talking about practice? And there were a lot of people excited just to see cars out on the track for practice.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But again, we appreciate the time this afternoon. For JB Biunno, for Danny Harnden, I'm Kevin Connolly. Boy, thanks for joining us this afternoon. And again, we hope to see you at the racetrack. Good afternoon, everybody.